Beyoncé, in full Beyoncé Giselle Knowles, born September 4, 1981, Houston, Texas, U.S., American singer-songwriter and actress who achieved fame in the late 1990s as the lead singer of the R&B group Destiny's Child and then launched a hugely successful solo career. She won a record-setting 32 Grammy Awards. At age 9, Beyoncé formed the singing-rapping girl group Destiny's Child, originally called Girls' Tyme, in 1990 with childhood friends. In 1992, the group lost on the Star Search television talent show, and 3 years later it was dropped from a recording contract before an album had been released. In 1997, Destiny's Child's fortunes reversed with a Columbia recording contract and then an eponymous debut album that yielded the hit single No 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 Part 2. Their follow-up album, The Writings on the Wall, 1999, earned the group 2 Grammy Awards and sold more than 8 million copies in the United States. Survivor, 2001, the group's third album, reached the #1 spot on the Billboard 200 chart. Beyoncé was clearly the leader of the group and wrote hit songs for Destiny's Child, such as the saucy Bootylicious. Eventually, the group parted ways to pursue individual projects. Beyoncé used her songwriting talents to pen her first solo album, Dangerously in Love, 2003. The album debuted to rave reviews and, aided by the exuberant single Crazy in Love, which featured rapper Jay-Z, it topped charts around the world. In 2004, Beyoncé won 5 Grammy Awards, including Best Contemporary R&B Album and Best Female R&B Vocal Performance. Destiny's Child reunited in 2004 to release Destiny Fulfilled. While generally not as acclaimed as the group's previous efforts, the album sold more than 7 million copies worldwide and spawned several hit singles. The trio embarked on a world tour in 2005, during which they announced that the group would officially disband. That same year, they released #1S, a collection of well-known songs and #1 hits. In 2006, Beyoncé released her second solo studio album, Bidet, which featured several co-producers, including the hit-making duo The Neptunes. Although much of the album carried echoes of 1970s-style funk, the pop ballad Irreplaceable became its most successful single. In 2008, she and Jay-Z married, and the union made them one of the top-earning couples in the entertainment industry. Later that year, Beyoncé released the double album I Am, Sasha Fierce. Whereas the first half, I Am, found her in an introspective mood, the second, Sasha Fierce, contained songs better suited to the dance floor. The album as a whole generated several hits, including the assertive Single Ladies, Put a Ring on It, and it contributed to Beyoncé's dominance of the 2010 Grammy Awards. Her 6 awards, which included those for Song of the Year, Best Female Pop Vocal Performance, and Best Contemporary R&B Album, amounted to the most Grammys collected by a female artist in a single night. Days after a triumphant headlining performance at England's Glastonbury Festival, Beyoncé released 2011, a genre-bending mix of ballads and dance tracks that evoked influences ranging from Motown-era torch songs to the audio collages of rapper M.I.A. In early 2013, Destiny's Child reunited for a halftime appearance at the Super Bowl and released a new song, Nuclear. Shortly thereafter, Beyoncé collected a Grammy for her single, Love on Top. She returned later in the year with the confidently sensuous and expressive Beyoncé, which boasted brand-name producers and appearances from, among others, the Nigerian author Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie and the singer's toddler daughter, Blue Ivy. The record, initially offered exclusively on iTunes, was promoted as a visual album, with music videos made to accompany each track. The single, Drunken Love, which featured Jay-Z, was awarded several Grammys, including Best R&B Song. On the expansive and musically variegated Lemonade, 2016, Beyoncé focused on themes of betrayal and perseverance. Conceived as another visual album, it debuted as an HBO television special. Lemonade attracted considerable acclaim, and it netted Beyoncé 2 Grammys, including a Best Music Video award for the anthemic Formation. In 2018, Beyoncé and Jay-Z released a collaborative album, Everything Is Love, credited to the Carters, and it took the Grammy for Best Urban Contemporary Album. That same year, Beyoncé became the first Black woman to headline the Coachella Valley Festival in Indio, California. Her highly acclaimed performance, which featured marching bands from historically Black colleges, was the subject of Homecoming, a Netflix documentary and live album released in 2019. Although Beyoncé worked on a number of projects between studio albums, fans were left waiting for a new solo album. In 2022, she finally delivered with Act 1, Renaissance. It received 4 Grammys, including Best Dance Electronic Music Album, and with those awards, Beyoncé surpassed Georg Solti for the most Grammy wins, 32. In 2001, Beyoncé made her acting debut in the television movie Carmen, a Hip Hopera, which aired on MTV. Her role as Foxy Cleopatra in Austin Powers and Goldmember, 2002, made her a film star and led to parts in The Fighting Temptations, 2003, and The Pink Panther, 2006. In 2006, she played Dina Jones in Dreamgirls, the film adaptation of the 1981 Broadway musical about a 1960s singing group. Beyoncé's performance was nominated for a Golden Globe Award and her song Listen for an Academy Award. She later starred in Cadillac Records, 2008, in which she portrayed singer Etta James, and the thriller Obsessed, 2009, before providing the voice of a fairy-like forest queen in the animated epic, 2013. For the 2019 remake of Disney's The Lion King, Beyoncé voiced the character of Nala and performed several songs on the soundtrack, including Spirit, an original song she co-wrote, and a rendition of Can You Feel the Love Tonight? She also concurrently released an album inspired by the movie The Lion King, The Gift. Songs from that record were later featured in the visual album Black is King, 2020, which aired on the streaming service Disney+. For the single Black Parade, Beyoncé earned the Grammy for Best R&B Performance in 2021. That year, she received 3 other awards to set the record for most Grammys, 28, won by a female artist. Beyoncé later co-wrote and performed Be Alive for the film King Richard, 2021, and it received an Oscar nomination for Best Original Song.